What's up, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. A little bit earlier today, wanted to get it done. Holiday week coming up, got a lot going on, and wanted to give you guys a little taste of some Big Ten basketball here today. Hope everybody's doing well. I just completed 3 games in 4 days, so I'm a little tired, but it's all good, man. Beats working for a living. That's what I always say. So today we'll talk about some Big Ten teams that are surprises, some Big Ten teams on the struggle bus. We'll talk about my Big Ten player of the week, my Big Ten freshman of the week, other notable performances, and then we'll do a deep dive into the Illini because I was able to watch in person 2 of their last 3 games. One as a spectator with Marquette. I didn't see the Valpo game because I was doing Morehead State at Penn State. And then last night I did Southern at Illinois. So I've got a pretty good vantage point of doing a deep dive on the Illini. So we'll get to all that in today's edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Listen, if you want a free copy of Triple Threat, my guide to basketball terminology where I combine a little hip hop and jazz and basketball and give you guys kind of a glossary of some of the terms that I use, go to bardostribe.com, BARDOS tribe.com and get your free copy. I think you'll enjoy it. Also, you can go to the same website to join the email list, bardostribe.com. You'll see a pop-up window that'll come up. You can put your name in there. You can be added to the email list. I do pretty good email once a week, sometimes more than that, based on if there's a lot of stuff coming up. So want you to make sure you check into that. All right. And then you can also join the tribe by texting 312-847-2739. That's 312-847-2739. All right, let's get into it. Big Ten surprise teams, Nebraska, Northwestern, and Michigan. All right. Let's take a look at Nebraska first. They could be 7-0 before they host Creighton, which is a top 10 ball club. But then after Creighton, it gets real. At Minnesota, which is much improved, shouldn't have lost to Missouri. Michigan, they host Michigan State, which I'm on that call for Big Ten Network. And then they got to go to Kansas State. So Nebraska is rolling. They're playing well. Bryce Williams is playing his, off. Rink Mast has been a revelation. Jawan Gary came back his first game off of injury, and he had 19 points. Y'all been hearing me talk about Nebraska. This is a good team, and they're really showing it. But they're going to move up in weight class. They've got, I think, 2 more games before they face Creighton. We'll know a lot about that team when they meet Creighton. We've already seen Iowa go up against Creighton and lose. I believe it was an 8-point loss. Pretty high-scoring game. Both teams very high offensive efficiency, according to Ken Palm. So this is a really good team that's kind of coming out of the gates a lot better than most expected, including me. Northwestern, 4-1 now. They've got, in my opinion, they've got the best wins of the Big Ten so far, over Dayton and over Rhode Island. Then they lost yesterday to Mississippi State, which is a really good defensive team, and they really, really shut Northwestern down. It was a nip and tuck battle, but Mississippi State appeared to be in control of that one throughout. Then they Northwestern host Purdue at home, and then it's Cupcake City the rest of the way until they meet the Illini to restart the Big Ten slate in January. So Northwestern has been a surprise. I thought they'd be good. I didn't know, I thought losing Chase Audige would hurt. I did not know that Brooks Barnhizer was going to step up the way he did. I thought Ryan Langborg would be a good player. I thought it'd take him a little bit more time than it has. He's done an outstanding job for them. So Northwestern has been a surprise team. And again, I know this sounds crazy, but if you go through the Big Ten slate, Northwestern has the best Big Ten win right now in the non-conference, and that's against Dayton. Dayton ended up losing to Houston in the Charleston tournament. So Dayton got to the championship of that tournament. That's going to be a really good win for Northwestern. That Rhode Island win that Northwestern got will also pay dividends because they're going to be competitive under Archie Miller in the A10. So Northwestern, our second surprise team. And then our third surprise team is Michigan. And Michigan was really doing well. Wins over St. John's, UNC Asheville, and then also Youngstown State. But then they relaxed. I believe they were up. They were definitely up double digits. I thought they were up 20 against Long Beach State at home, and Long Beach State got hot, and they started torching Michigan, and they ended up putting 94 on Michigan at the crib. That's a bye game. So Michigan brought that game and then got pounded, 94-88. So that was a little disturbing because before then they had really been playing well. They've been scoring a lot. They're averaging 93 points per game in their first 3 wins. So they're rolling, but now it gets real. They got Memphis. They got to play at Oregon, Indiana, and then at Iowa. I've got the game at Iowa, I believe. I'm covering that, or I may have the return game. But no, I'm sorry. I've got the Indiana game when Indiana comes to their place. That's an NBC game, so I'm really looking forward to that. But they really move up in weight class, so we'll see if this offensive prowess can continue. Olivier Combois has been outstanding. Doug McDaniel, Dougie Fresh has been that dude. He's been beatboxing on everybody. He's averaging 21 a game right now, so he's balling. So offensively, Michigan looks really good. Defensively, we're going to see because they move up in weight class. All right, Big Ten teams that are on the struggle bus, y'all. I'm talking struggling. Wisconsin, Maryland, and Michigan State. Let's start off with Michigan State. We saw what happened with James Madison. We saw what happened with Duke. They were more competitive against Duke, but the issue is Malik Hall and AJ Hoggard, in my opinion. I don't know why they haven't been consistent. I don't think they're injured. I don't know if it's they're seniors and they're tired of hearing Tom Izzo talk. I don't understand it. But Hoggard, once a year, has an issue of some sort. So I don't know. I don't know what the issue is right now. I don't know what's wrong with Malik Hall because he's not, every time they play Kentucky or Duke or something, he elevates his game, but every other game, he just hasn't found consistency. So I don't understand what's going on. Michigan State is shooting 26% from the three. Now, those numbers may be a little skewed because they were so poor in their first 2 games. I believe they were 2 of 39 from 3 or something ridiculous early. And those numbers will start to tick up a little bit because they just were horrible their first 2 games from 3-point land. And they're only shooting 66% from the free throw line. That's uncharacteristic of Tom Izzo teams. They're generally higher than that. So you expect to see Michigan State, if they're going to compete, if they're going to be that team that we talked about, competing for a Big Ten title, Big Ten tourney title, and also possibly making a Final Four run to Phoenix, they've got to improve those 2 areas because that's not going to get it done. The Wisconsin Badgers, right? No shame in losing at home to Tennessee because that's an elite team. Tennessee's a really, really good team, one of the best out of the SEC. And Dalton Knecht will be, if he's not going to be an All-American, I'd be surprised. He's that good. But when Wisconsin went to Providence, man, they never seem to get going. That's a raucous environment. It's a very difficult place to play. But you got Stephen Crowell, Tyler Wall, Max Klesmit, Chucky Hepburn. These guys have been through the battles. They've been on the road, and they just never got going. AJ Storr scored the ball well, but I like his scoring ability, but he doesn't give you anything else. He's not getting on the glass. He's not defending. And it's almost like the rest of the Badgers stand around and watch when he goes to work. It's kind of like he breaks formation almost. So it's a little weird. And I know it's going to take time to get used to, but that game at Providence, that didn't sit well with me. I was a little surprised. Now, look at the next 4 of their 5 games. Virginia, Marquette, Arizona, and Michigan State. So we're going to learn a lot whether Wisconsin can right the ship, which they did against Robert Morris. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. They righted the ship a little bit, but they move up in weight class big time. And Wisconsin may have as brutal of a schedule as anybody in the Big Ten Conference this year. That's a really, really tough stretch. And then the last team that's on the struggle bus is struggling mightily. The Maryland Terrapins, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's happening here. You lose 3 straight. The Villanova game was terrible. They're down 39-15 at halftime. They end up losing 57-40. There was only one player that scored in double digits. That's Julian Reese. He got to 10. That's it. You got Jameer Young, Dante Scott, Jordan Geronimo, who's a transfer from Indiana. He knows he knew what to expect going into Villanova. And I didn't, their freshmen are turned out to be what? Freshmen. Ask Gibbs Lawhorn of Illinois. First game scores 18 points. Next 3 games, he's getting torched. It's tough to be a freshman and come right in today's college basketball and be dominant. When you see it, those are NBA guys because it just does not happen very often, right? So they and it's good because they got Cupcake City for the next 3 games. They got some teams that they should beat. They can lick their wounds. They can work on some things because they need a lot of work before they host Indiana December 1. And, they're only averaging 58 points per game. They lost to Davidson. They lost to UAB. And those were closer games. They were much more competitive. But I believe they scored 61 against Davidson and 64 against UAB. So Maryland can't score the basketball. And they're putting a tremendous amount of pressure on Jameer Young and Julian Reese to carry that team offensively because it's going to take some time for Jamie Kaiser and Deshaun Harris-Smith to kind of get up to speed at this Division I level. All right. Now, the conference's Big Ten Player of the Week is Ben Krikke at Iowa. His numbers can justify that. I think he averaged 24.5 points per game and 7 rebounds over the 2 games this week. My Big Ten Player of the Week is Terrence Shannon because Illinois had 3 games this week, including hosting Marquette, one of the best teams in the country. And Terrence Shannon was outstanding on both ends. That's why I'm giving him the nod because defensively, in covering Southern at Illinois last night, Terrence Shannon made a play that was, I don't know that I've seen. So he's one pass denial. The play is here. He's one pass away. He gets a deflection. He goes for the steal. He doesn't get the steal. You guys know that on Illinois' home court, there's a block I. And so he was past the block I, and Southern's going this way. So he's way out of the play. The ball gets advanced, and all of a sudden you see this train coming. And he's coming full speed. He goes from beyond half court to the opposite corner and bothers a Southern Jaguar opponent's shot. Do you guys know how hard that is? To go for a steal and miss it. The ball got reversed to one guy. He was almost there on that catch. It got reversed. It got passed into the corner, and then he's there, denying or bothering the shot attempt. Those type of efforts, and there were several of those last night that he did. Those type of efforts will make him maybe the best two-way player in the Big Ten. I was really, really impressed with his defensive ability. That's why in addition, his offense was excellent. He was excellent against Marquette. He was really great last night. He took over the game when Illinois was struggling to score. He just took it over, got to the rim, got threes, got and ones. He did a little bit of everything. So he's my Big Ten Player of the Week. I am so happy to announce my Big Ten Freshman of the Week because this is my nephew, John Blackwell, y'all. This young man can go. This is Glenn Blackwell's son, Glenn Blackwell of the Fighting Illini, one of my former teammates at Illinois. Jonathan is playing his you-know-what off, okay? He had a career high in the last game, 18 points versus Robert Morris. He was one of the few guys in the Wisconsin Badger uniform that looked comfortable at Providence. He had 11 points at Providence. He's really starting to come on. He's a little bit more athletic than I think they even thought he was. He's strong. He's confident. And he's a great young man, a great kid. His family is mom and dad are salt of the earth. He and his 2 brothers, they get it. And he is fit in with Wisconsin beautifully. So get your money, nephew. I see you over there. John Blackwell of Wisconsin is my Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Couldn't believe the conference put Owen Freeman again at Iowa. He's doing a good job. His numbers did not even compare to Jonathan Blackwell. So whoever's doing the Big Ten Player of the Week and Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Look at everybody's statistics because you blew this one. Because Jonathan was a clear Big Ten freshman of the week, not Owen Freeman. Owen Freeman was the first week, but not this week. All right. Other notable performances. Zach Edey just continues to dominate. He had 28 versus Xavier. I didn't think Xavier was going to be much, but they played Purdue a little bit tougher than I expected. They also got another quality win, and I have them coming up next week as they host. That's too far ahead. I don't look that far ahead, but I've got them. They host. It's not Cincinnati. It's a pretty good non-conference game, so I've got that next week. But Zach Edey has been stellar, and Purdue's been quiet because people expect them to be great, and they have been great. And Zach Edey's been great. Bryce Williams in Nebraska has been balling, y'all, averaging 21 points in 2 games. Really able to space the floor. He's an inside-out guy. He's more of like I call him a 4-3. Like he's a power forward kind of guy, but he can play the 3 as well. He's very comfortable on the perimeter. Can go in the post as well. But he's balling out of control, as is his team. Nebraska looks really good. And then Ben Krikke. He is the Big Ten player of the week. His numbers bear that out. 24.5 points a game, 7 rebounds a game. He's been balling against Creighton, the loss at Creighton, and then the win against Arkansas State. So those are other notable performances. Now I'm going to do a deep dive on the Illini. I'm going to give I think this is probably something because most of the viewers here on Bardo's Breakdown are Illini fans, and so I'll give a little bit deeper breakdown on the Illini. Terrence Shannon looks better to me this year than he did last year. I just referenced the defensive end. The stuff that he did against Marquette, Valpo, and Southern this week, the efforts, him blowing up ball screens, people trying to screen him, and he's like almost separating people's shoulders. He's coming so hard, sticking to his opponent. He's sitting down defensively. He's help side. He's doing a little bit of everything, and he's a man on a mission. Now, I remember he started out like this last season, shooting the 3 really, really well and being more offensively aggressive. But this year, I've noticed his desire to be more impressive on the defensive end, and is really, really paying dividends. This is a good Illinois team, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I did a live after the Marquette game, and I kind of gave my thoughts and feelings about that. But what I saw against Marquette, I was encouraged. If you're an Illini fan, you ought to be encouraged with this team. Because this young man, he was balling last night. Niccolo Moretti, Brad Underwood and his staff have been saying for about a week now how good Niccolo has been in practice. Now he's lighting the britches. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get some size. But man, can he move the basketball up and down the floor? He knows how to advance it. He gets guys in position. He knows how to hold it until he knows where Terrence Shannon likes it on the break. He knows where Quincy Guerrier wants it in the shooting pocket. He knows these things. He knows all these subtleties already, right? And he was balling last night. And then when he got hurt, he was out of the game, and he came out in a boot. I was sick to my stomach for that young man because he's the answer to what the Illini have been looking for or asking for from the point guard position. I ain't got no problem with Ty Rodgers. I still like Ty at the point guard position. But I like Niccolo in there in the mix as well because Niccolo is a true point guard. He's got a true feel for the game, and you saw it last night. 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 points in 13 minutes, and he was just getting started. And the thing I liked about him, he yelled at Dane Danger. He got Dane's ass. And that's what you want from your point guard. I don't care if they're a freshman. I like that because if you talk to coaches around the country, the guys are reluctant to get after each other. They're reluctant to get after their teammate, not to put him down, but to motivate him to get in their butt, right? To get after him. These guys don't do that. But I saw Niccolo like he was doing the Mamma Mia like this, and he was very vocal towards Dane Danger, and I was like, wow, that's a great sign coming from a point guard that knows how important that is from a leadership standpoint, that you don't have to hear Brad and Jeff Alexander and Tyler Underwood and Tim Anderson and Chester Frazier. You don't have to hear them yelling all the time. If your teammates will get on your tail, that's when you have a special team. And so Nicolo Moretti, let's hope that ankle injury is not serious, because he was really coming on. He was showing glimpses of why he's going to be an important piece. I was glad to see Coleman Hawkins sit out last night. He's got a strained quad. It's been giving him issues. And this is a great stretch for the Illini because he got a chance to rest last night. They don't play again until Friday against Western Illinois. And then they've got 8 days until they go to Rutgers. I believe that is the 1st. Yeah, I think that's the December 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So he's able to rest, and he can get a rest from the fan criticism from the Illini Nation. Guys, I said it in my live the other day. This is a rare time that I got a chance to sit at the State Farm Center in the stands, and I didn't have the headphones on. And the criticism that young man is getting is unfair, and it's not warranted. And I was also informed that it's the same criticism that drove Andre Curbelo crazy, that kept him from being the best that he could be. So Big Ten fans, Illini fans, take it easy on these guys. I know they're making NIL money, but they're not pros. Take it easy on them, all right? Marcus Domask and Luke Goody are in this situation. They looked very hesitant putting it on the deck last night. Now, Southern is a unique team, but there are a couple teams that will play like that. Well, it's really 3. Iowa will mix defenses up like that. Penn State is going to really get after you like that, and Maryland likes to do that as well. So you're going to see in those games against those 3 teams, Marcus Domask and Luke Goody probably not going to be as effective. Marcus was 1 of 3 from the field last night. He did get on the glass, 9 rebounds. That's the mark of a veteran, where maybe his offense isn't going. He's turned the ball over more than he would like. He's not quite as comfortable, but he can still be effective. But from a scoring standpoint and an aggressive standpoint, when Illinois will play these teams that get after you a little bit defensively, full court, run and jump, do some different things, don't let you come up and get comfortable. Because Luke Goody one time, man, he almost fell on his face. He caught the ball and there was a trap. He didn't want to put it on the deck. He lost his balance. He was able to throw it before he got called for a violation. But me as a defensive stalwart that I was back in the day, I'm looking at him like, ooh, that's some free lunch money right there. So they've got to get better in handling that pressure, because if somebody watched the film of that, if they watched that last night's film, they will know that one of the things that will bother this Illini team, especially if Nicolo Moretti is not in the game, is full court or 3/4 court pressure, because they didn't handle it very well against Southern last night. To be expected, because they're trying to figure out that point guard position. But just a observation of mine that these guys, Ty Rogers didn't look particularly good against it either. But Marcus Domask and Luke Goody, they're going to struggle against teams that like to get up under you, that like to make you uncomfortable, that they're not going to allow you just to walk up the court and get into your sets. Okay? Just something that I noticed. All right? All right. Got a few questions here, so let me get to the questions. What's up, Kevin McDuffie? I got a chance to catch up with Kevin at the game last night. Met his older son. Great time reconnecting with him. Good to see you, my man. Thanks for always supporting. Really appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Romy Johnson, season's greetings to you as well. What is your opinion on playing Big Ten conference games before Christmas? It's a necessity now. Just the way that the conference is expanded, they don't have any choice. So I'm okay with it. Let's see. What's up, Kyrie Thompson? Good to see you again, my man. Always appreciate you checking in and tuning in. I was looking for you live. No, I think that was an ESPN game. I don't work with ESPN any longer. But what are the overall issues with Michigan State? Hogarth's having an awful season. Yeah, I talked about that earlier in this show. He's in a funk. Malik Hall's in a funk. They're shooting poorly from 3. They're shooting poorly from the free throw line. I think all those things can be fixed. If there's a coach to do it, it'll be Tom Izzo. And we've seen this from A.J. Hogarth before. We've seen this from Malik Hall before. They go through struggle periods. They're on the struggle bus right now. I don't quite understand how Tom gets them to get out of their funk, but he knows what he's doing. He's going to have to do it. Plus, he's going to have to get his team to shoot the ball better because they're not finding consistency from long range nor from the free throw line. Purdue versus Gonzaga. Who is your pick? I'm rooting for the Boilermakers. I got Purdue. I just think that Zach Edey is going to have a better year this year than he did last year. And if you can't slow down Zach Edey, if you don't have kind of a crazy athletic mix and just a really unorthodox style like Fairleigh Dickinson put on Purdue, if you're trying to play big boy smash mouth basketball, you're playing right into Purdue's hands. So I like Purdue in that one. It's going to be a heck of a game, though. Ron Charles looking at the same game. I like Purdue in that one. Great call last. Thank you, Wes K. I haven't seen it yet. I'll look after the show, and if something comes up, I'll post so that you guys can see it. Yeah, he's definitely going. He's got to get stronger. That's the only issue. He's got to get stronger. But his demeanor, his speed, the fact that he's a lefty, I think is an advantage. Yeah, I was very impressed. From one point guard to another, I was very, very impressed. Imani, good to see you. The ratings and rankings, I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. Arizona's legit. Yes, Arizona's legit. I will give you that. And that's going to be a heck of a game. That's going to be a really good test for Michigan State. And these are the type of games that you've seen in the past where Michigan State's been struggling. You don't expect much of them. They come into a game like this and they ball out. I don't know if they're good enough to beat Arizona right now, but I guarantee you they'll have a better showing than what we've seen so far. I saw the play. I couldn't believe Shannon got back into the play. He started out on the floor and got up to hustle to the corner to contest a three. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, go back and watch the game. I'm sorry I didn't pull the clip up and have it for you because it was impressive. We even ran the Glenn Sarge is our producer last night, and Doug Brown was our director. They pulled up the clip and we ran it again. It was so impressive. Where Shannon goes for a steal, he slides past the block eye. He's on the other side of half court. The ball gets advanced to one player. He's almost there after the catch. The guy throws it to a wide open teammate in the corner, and Shannon is flying to try to bother his release. It was an outstanding effort. Some of the best effort I've seen in college basketball this season. Just defensive effort. That's Terrence Shannon. Hoop baller Scoop. Is he hitting the three? Yes. Remember last year he came out on fire. Yeah, he's not shooting at a high of, man, can I get this out? He's not shooting the three as hot as he was last year, but he's shooting it well. Last year he was out of his mind to start the season. This year he's still shooting the three well, but he's mixing it up nicely. He's got some floaters. He gets to the rim like a mad dog. He's getting stuff in transition. Yeah, he looks really, really good. Really good. And defensively, I've been very, very pleased. Husker defense gets Oregon State. Now, I'll give you this, Christopher Clark. The Huskers are balling, right? I don't know how good Oregon State is because they were not good last year. So I'm not sure how good they are, but we'll see. Because Nebraska will get a chance to host Creighton. We'll see how good their defense is then. What's the point of cupcake games? I watched Michigan State lose to Duke and beat someone else last night, beat Alcorn State like they do against Duke, Purdue. Here's the thing, man. It's November in college basketball, and that used to be the norm. And I call it Cupcake City because that's a tribute to Dick Vitale, who got delayed in coming back to ESPN because his vocal cords still need a little bit more rest. He's battling cancer. I'm just trying to show him some love. So when I say cupcake games, I'm talking like you're seeing it, Duke, Purdue, Arizona, that type of thing. But these teams need this time, and they need opponents who aren't maybe as good as them to get better. This is the formula that's been in place in college basketball forever. So that's the point in the games against teams that have different styles, that might play four guards and a forward, to get used to that style, to get used to different styles of play, and to work on things that you're trying to get better at. So that's why they do that. Hey, James, good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gibbs Lawhorn did twist his ankle as well. It didn't appear as serious as Moretti's, but I got to go check. Go tune in to Jeremy Werner, because Jeremy will know. I have to figure that out. I think you're right, James. Moretti will be the point guard if he comes back healthy, and he can continue to improve the way that he's done early in this season. He'll be the point guard because he's nice with it. I mean, I'm okay if Ty starts at the point. I'm okay with that because I like Ty's presence on the floor, his size, his aggressiveness, his rebounding ability, his defensive prowess, his ability to pass, and his ability to attack downhill. I like Ty on the floor. But Nicolo has that feel of a point guard, that feel of a point guard that you'd love to have. So I think hopefully those guys, their injuries are not serious, but I will find out. What's up, Chad? Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, they went down low to Danger, and only 21 3-point shots. Yes. They got the ball to Danger early and often, and he was effective, which he normally is. And so it was a game in where Southern University had a little bit more size than your normal HBCU team. They had a couple guys at 6'10", 6'9", 6'9". So they had a decent size up front, and he was able to take advantage of that. Yeah, this is true. The fans are on Coleman Hawkins, man, and I'm glad that he got a break from it. And I went and said I tried to give him some encouraging words, just to stay within the team. You know, the fans will love you one day and they'll hate you the next. It's just part of the business, and it's tough for 18 to 22-year-olds to deal with it. Even with NIL money, it's still tough to deal with because people at that age, you want acceptance, and there are no fans that have been in front of 15,000 people trying to make split-second decisions against other very good players. That's a very difficult thing to do. And most of the time, Coleman makes it look pretty easy. What's up, Chad? Seems they do much better when they drive the ball, move to the basket, not focus so much on threes. What's your take, Mr. Bardo? I think, Chad, you're right. And I think what you're seeing when they bog down, it's been against a team like Marquette, who's elite, and they know their stuff. And so Marquette basically runs, 4 guards and a forward, 3 guards and 2 forwards. So they're quick, and they get up in you defensively. They crowd your space. They make you uncomfortable. They take away your first pass. They funnel you down into the corner to trap. They do a lot of really elite things defensively. And that Marquette team has been together for 3 years. So that's a different animal. And what you saw when Illinois got bogged down, they had to settle for a lot of threes because they don't have a ton of guys that can just take the ball and go make a play off the bounce. So that's when Illinois gets in trouble. But when they do drive, put it on the deck, try to drive, when they get the ball inside, the offense seems to have a better flow. So, Chad, I think you're right on that. Good point. What's up, Who's Nation? Seeing Purdue so far, would you say they're much better than last year's team overall? How is their shooting so far? I would say Purdue is better. I don't know how much better. They've only played 3 games. We'll know a lot in this Maui Invitational. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, watch the Maui Invitational. This might be the best one ever. This the teams in that thing it's a gauntlet. I should have put something up about that, but you guys can go check it out. Let's see. Agree on giving players a break. Iowa message boards have some of that going on, especially when Caitlin Clark had an off night. Ridiculous. The whole Angel Reese thing is between her and Mulkey. Give these young adults a break. It would be nice. I get fans. The fans is short for fanaticals. I get it. We can't have the sports without fans. I get it. Integral part of what it's all about. And fans need to be able to voice their opinion every now and then. But every time Coleman Hawkins gets the basketball, man, I was hearing boos and and I'm like, wow. I don't know that I would have been effective in that scenario. I was a tough-minded dude, but that would have bothered me big time. You mentioned that Lou Henson would do if teams miss so many free throws. What is the remedy? I think I heard we are 54% as a team and last in the league. Can't imagine going far with that. So what Chad is referring to is that when we would struggle from the free throw line, the very next day in practice, Lou Henson would have us running sprints. And it was a way to get you winded for game-like situations. So you'd run sprints, you go right to the free throw line. You have to make a certain amount. If you didn't, you'd run another sprint, you go back. And sometimes, man, there'd be 3 or 4 sprints and dudes would just be dragging, exhausted. But you best believe they concentrate on that free throw line because they didn't want to get back on that line, right? So it's punitive a little bit, but I liked it because it got you ready to shoot free throws in a game situation when you're going all out and you got to learn how to collect yourself, get into your routine that allows your mind to relax. The muscle memory takes over, and that's how we got better at the free throw line. I don't know exactly what Brad Underwood and his staff are going to do, but I'm sure they've got something that will help improve their free throws. But that was something that we used to do that really helped us. Good to see you, OJ Smith. What's going on, my man? Thank you for tuning in. Tournament, if they don't get it up. Oh, okay. Chad's continuing. They won't be going to any tournament unless they get it up over 70%. I agree with that. Dory Melman Pezzerillo. I say the Italian version. Enjoyed last night. Shannon doing everything except selling popcorn. Was I wrong, Dory? He did everything. He was really, really impressive. Carol Pole Paquette, what's going on? Good to see you, love. Don't worry about it. We always know you're here. Even when you're not, we know you're here because your presence. Do teams have a coach dedicated free throw shooting? If not, why not? No excuse for the line to be in the 50 to 60% range. I like your comment about Lou Henson making you run. Yeah, that's what we did. And it's slightly punitive, but that's okay because that was you hear how we have to talk today about what's going on, how we have to soften everything. So I'm just gonna kick it real. If you miss free throws, you should have to run sprints and then get on the line because that's going to be the best way to get you to concentrate. Because free throw shooting is routine, muscle memory, and confidence. It's routine, muscle memory, and confidence. So my routine at the free throw line, there's a nail at the center of the free throw line. I'd put my right foot about a foot to the right of it, have my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. I'd catch the ball, I'd look at the rim, I'd bounce the ball 3 times, I'd hold it, I'd look back at the rim, blow out half my breath, and then go into my muscle memory. And so when you're running sprints, you have to learn to control your breathing. So you got to take one real deep one, hold it for a second, let it out, get your breath to normalize a little bit, catch the ball. I take a deep breath. I look at the rim. I put it down, hold my breath. I grab it again, let half of it out, and then let it go, right? And so that's the routine that I used to do. And that's what, if you see these guys like Dane Danger, Dane has beautiful backspin on the ball. His follow-through is good. It's up here. It's all up here. And so don't think that I got to go practice my free throws. No, I get to go practice my free throws. Or I got to run these sprints. No, I get to run these sprints. I get to play college basketball. I get to the free throw line where I'm supposed to be getting this free lunch money. You got to get the free lunch money, right? You get to do these things. It's not that you have to do it. Oh, coach is on my back. No, I'm glad coach is on my back because I'm getting to play college basketball at a place like Illinois. And I need to be able to get this free lunch money because if we don't, like Chad Alt said, we won't be winning nothing. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, but they definitely got to do it. D-Man, what's up, D-Man? Is this first time on here? I haven't seen you. If it is, welcome to Bardo's Breakdown. Thanks for tuning in. Izzo has to stop being stubborn and play his freshman more because Fears is special and Carr is active. I think he's trying to, D. The thing with Izzo, though, that's helped his program is that he's been loyal to guys that have stuck around for a while, right? But I agree with you. He's got a problem on his hands. He's got to play those freshmen. He's got to play Booker because Booker was more highly ranked than Fears and Carr. Booker is a problem. He's going to be a problem. All right. Chad all says this is not a dumb question at all, Chad, because the dumbest thing to do is not ask a question when you have one. This is a really good question, and I don't know the answer to it. No one wears high tops anymore, and I am sure they get taped. But why did they change? Fashion. They saw somebody in the NBA wearing low cuts. Oh, I'm gonna wear low cuts. I don't understand it. I never played in low cuts. Never. Chuck from the Chuck Taylors on, they were always high tops to try to help protect your ankle area, right? So I don't know. I think it's a fashion thing, but I don't agree with it. I'm with you. And I know I'm old, but shit, some things work. Now I made the comment about Hawkins not getting any love, but that doesn't. Let's see. Oh, Dory might be hitting on the sentiment of the week. Minnesota had a 20-point lead over Missouri at home and ended up losing by 2 points. And for a program that's trying to get out of the Big Ten cellar, that was a tough loss. It was a tough loss for the league as well, because these non-conference games that these teams are losing, it knocks down the perception and it knocks down the rating of the Big Ten overall. But that was a tough one because Minnesota was balling, and then the wheels fell off. And you can't lose those at home like that. And that was I felt bad for Ben and his team, Dory, because that one hurt. That one hurt. Facebook, listen to this. Who asked me the question up here? Was it Chad? No. About playing cupcakes and why it need Derek. Okay, Derek, here's your answer. Everyone plays these teams. You can't schedule all tough games. Plus, you like to work on in-game situation with lesser teams. There it is. Right there. Back in the day, Steven, Syracuse never left New York until conference play. They loved the cupcake schedule. Boeheim wasn't winning his coach until Coach K took over. Boeheim was a winning coach for forever. And that's all they did was schedule cupcakes. Just what this Facebook user is saying. That's all he did. So it's been going on in college basketball forever. They look Doug McDaniel, Dougie Fresh. Shoot. Dougie Fresh is in the run for Big Ten Player of the Year the way his season has started. He was outstanding. Namari Burnett, he was balling. I didn't know he had that kind of offense. But he took over for a stretch there. I believe he had I think he had 14 of a stretch of Michigan's 18 or 20 points. He was on fire, hitting threes, hitting step backs, getting to the rim. He looked really, really good. And Doug McDaniels looked good all season. Yeah, I like it too, OJ. I wish he would do more of it. At least 3 a game, because he can get to the line, he can score or both, and put pressure on smaller opponents' backcourts. I would like to see that as well. Bardo, when you do games, are you driving solo or do you have someone riding shotgun? I don't like to drive, let alone during winters in Illinois. No, I'm solo dolo, man, because our schedules are so hectic. Like I try to bring my dad or my brother on an annual trip And the last time I took my brother, he's like, man, I'm not doing that again. He could believe the hectic nature and pace of what we do in college basketball. So I'm solo because we move so fast. I mean, we're always on the move. So no, I'm solo, and I try to utilize the time in the car, catch up on calls to family and friends, to listen to a YouTube highlight of a game or something. Or I've got YouTube TV, so I can turn YouTube TV on and I can hear them talking about the game. And every now and then I can glance over and see the score. So I utilize the time for research. I also like to listen to books on tape, things like that. But no, I ride solo, man, because I'm moving. We're anybody that's in my business that works the number of games I do, we're moving. Um, oh, okay, good. You're seeing these games that are on today. That's kind of why I wanted to go early, because I want to get to some of these heavyweight matchups today in the Maui Classic, and there's some other ones around going on as well. Thomas Dagley, good to see you, my man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had fun last night with Wayne Randazzo. We had a good time calling Southern University at Illinois last night on Big Ten Network. The flying and line out free throw percentage went up in 89. Think what else drove you guys is what happened against Nova in the tournament 88. Yes, it did. Very well stated. This Facebook user is referring to the second round matchup in 1988 against Villanova. We had Villanova down by 10 with about a minute 55 seconds left, and we missed a ton of free throws down the stretch. And a walk-on hit a fadeaway three to beat us. We were supposed to be in the Sweet 16 that year and match up against Kentucky, and we matched up very well against Kentucky. We could have easily been in the Elite Eight had we hit our free throws. So that was that Facebook user. That's a very good point. That stung like hell all summer. We worked on our free throws. So that's exactly right. Great point. Kevin, I don't know. I think it's too far gone, man. Not you personally, not me personally, but as a society, I think we're just too far gone. One of my best friends, he really is my best friend, guy I grew up with, and our families are like this. Todd Bryson works at Southern Illinois University, and he works with students all the time. And he talks about he gets calls from parents left and right. You know, my son, Danny didn't call me today. I need a wellness check. What? A wellness check? Then there are parents that have tracking devices on their kids' phones. That bugs me out. I got friends that do that, and I look at them sideways. I'm like, do you really want to know what your kids are doing all the time? Because if my parents do what I was doing all the time, oh my gosh. Look, our Generation X, we didn't tell our parents nothing. Nothing. That's how you grow. You can't have an electronic leash on you at all times. Right? I don't agree with that. I get it. It's a safety issue. Maybe I'd be different with younger kids. I doubt it. But yeah, society's gone so far, Kevin. I don't think we can pull it back. I wish we could. But it's difficult. When I hear stories like that from my best friend who works at a university and he's getting calls from parents talking about, I didn't hear from my child today, or he gave me an example of this young man woke up, he was running late to class. He left his phone in his room. He went to 2 classes and he made a stop somewhere, and then he came back to his place, and his mom hadn't heard from him. And so his mom was wanting Todd's staff to check on her son. Now think about that. They get these calls every day. So is it the kids who are soft or the parents soft? Chomp on that one for a minute. Yeah, true. I agree. Had to ask a friend who was at the game if the crowd went nuts when Dane finally made a free throw. She said yes. That was the second loudest cheer to when Southern missed 2 free throws in a row and everybody got chicken nuggets. So yeah, that was a loud cheer. They're literally free, no contested shot, just you in the rim. OJ, I started calling it. I'm like the old Friday movies. You know, I'm taking your lunch money. That's free lunch. It's free money. Go get that free money. Get that lunch money. I'm with you. Moretti was very. Hey, Bill Ryan. I don't think I've seen you on here, Bill. If this is your first time on Bardo's Breakdown, welcome. Appreciate you joining. Sorry about that. That was my sister calling me. Moretti was very impressive. He's really the only true point guard we have. And do you think we'll see more of him on the floor, barring injury? There's no doubt about it. He's starting to come into his own. He's lighting the britches, and that's my only concern. Because once you get in the Big Ten play, you know it's aren't hand-to-hand combat. But if he can get stronger, he's definitely gonna get some time at the point guard. I hear low cuts that you can move faster. How do you move faster in low cuts? How does that even make sense? Does a high top inhibit your speed? No. I don't know if you heard right. That doesn't sound right to me. Yes, Thomas. I think we all do. We all want to see more Moretti. When has Duke ever played a true road non-conference game? Curtis Dietz. Ooh. Curtis Dietz always comes strong. Great point. Let's see. Let me pull this up. How many good left-handed players has Illinois had? Shannon, Battle, Randall. Was Blackwell lefty? Yes, he was. Are we missing anybody? That's a good list. Terrence Shannon, Kenny Battle, Brian Randall, Glenn Blackwell. Man, that's a great question. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good list. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head, but if Niccolo Moretti continues to do his thing, we might be adding him to that list. Yeah, I know. You don't have to remind me. How hard is it for a coach to get fired because of losing, to get another shot at a major program? I don't see it happen much. You know, there's so many things. Oh, Trent. Oh, Dory. That's why Dory and Carol Pole Poquette and the tribe. So that's why it's the best community in Big Ten basketball. Trent Frazier, lefty, great call. Thank you, Dory. Let me go back to the coaches thing. There's so many variables for why coaches get hired or why programs move on from a particular coach, why a program is interested in this particular coach. There's a lot of variables. It's not as cut and dry. So you got to have a little luck. Alfonso Plummer. Thank you, Stacy Bivens Gibson. Alfonso Plummer, another lefty. Good. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into a coach at a major level. A lot of times an athletic director will have, for each sport, they'll have a list of 5 coaches. In case something happens to their current coach, they have a list of 5 coaches that they've procured or developed with help from research or whatnot. Or, they've called people and said, what do you think about this guy? Or what do you think about this lady? And so they make their decisions based on a lot of personal things that feel good to the athletic director. So there's a ton of variables and things that go into why major college coaches get let go and why they get hired. So I hope that helped a little bit. I know that was kind of maybe didn't answer your question directly, because I don't think there is a direct answer for that. I think it's just kind of all over the place. So again, if you guys, wait a minute. I'm bugging out over here. Sorry about that. If you guys want to free copy of Triple Threat, my guide to basketball terminology, go to bardostribe.com. That's BARDOS tribe.com. If you want to join the email list, you can go there as well. There'll be a window that pops up. Put your email in there, and you'll be a part of the email list that goes out once a week. All right. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's a little bit different time, but I wanted to come on and, give you some Big Ten love, give you the show for the week, but get back to these games, because these games are really, really good. Illini fans, be encouraged with your team. You got a good team this season. They're only going to get better. That Marquette game was a great sign of what are things to come, and we didn't even see Moretti play that game. So be encouraged. Hope that that Lawhor Gibbs and Moretti's injuries are not serious, and that the Illini can continue to improve. All right. I may try to come on Thanksgiving because I'll be in Carbondale with my parents and my family, just to talk about what Purdue has done and what some of the other Big Ten teams are doing in this tournament. So, but if I don't talk to you before Thanksgiving, happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope that you can spend time with your loved ones. And I hope that you all, if you are traveling, that you have safe travels and that you enjoy this holiday season. Love all of you. Have a great rest of your week. Until next time, holla, y'all.